But I'm excited to be here, excited to have you guys. And I've gone through some of my old history boxes here at the studio and pulled out some of the content that I used to do. So I think it'll be really helpful for many of you. I'm doing this basically for two reasons. This wasn't part of the regular marketing plan, but especially with age, since you own a karate studio and many of you are doing kind of the brick and mortar or the smaller businesses. I wanted to do this because number one, I wanted to show you what's really possible. Okay, so this business that I'm going to show you here, we ran it. I owned it for 10 years. I don't own it anymore. Actually, we sold it. It's still within the family, but it's not mine anymore. We didn't start off at the location that I'm going to show you today. We actually started off across the street at a different location that was much smaller, a lot more, well, I guess ghetto is the right term. You know, it's a little bit rougher around the edges before we upgraded to this studio. But what's important, you know, whenever I do marketing seminars or whatnot, a lot of people say, well, you know, that sounds great, but it doesn't apply to me, or it doesn't apply in my city, or my people are different. Yeah, not everything applies to everybody, but a lot of stuff, if you expanded your mind, you would see that you could apply it into your business. So what I'm going to show you today is a kickboxing studio. So we really focused on weight loss here, even though we did have the competitive fight team and so on. But all of this here, this is a 4,000 square foot facility. And we are the biggest studio in Ontario. We had over 600 members in here, classes of 100 people at a time, jam-packed in here. And this is an and the population here in Sudbury is only, I think it's 150,000 people. So it's not a big place. And it's not like it's 150,000 a community within a large city. The closest city next to us is 4 hours away. Okay, so it's not like we are, you know, right next to a major city where people can just commute over. Whoever is in this city, like there's nobody even close to as big as us around here. We're pretty much on our own, and nobody, you know, when I tell people where I'm from, I usually just say Toronto, Canada, because it's easier than telling them where I'm actually from, which is this little hole in the wall. So that's one of the reasons. And the second reason I wanted to do this call, even though it's going to be specific to this industry, is to show you what happens when you expand your mind in terms of what's possible with your marketing. A lot of your business growth is going to come out of just trying things, and always be willing to be doing things. Not everything I'm going to show you today was a home run. Not everything brought in millions of dollars, but collectively, when you do everything together, the population, they see, man, that guy's busy. He's always doing something. And it gives the appearance that you're greater than you actually are, you know, kind of the fake it till you make it, until eventually you're at the point where you really are trucking along and you're, you know, a big success and you're doing all the things you want to do. Biggest challenge new entrepreneurs have is that when they're starting off, they're not doing a whole lot of things. So, you know, it looks like, oh, they're not doing much. You know, when I Google them, nothing shows up. Or when I check their Facebook, there's not a lot of material that shows up. So you want to actually change that. You want to make it look like you are busy, you are doing things, you are always out there in the community, and whatever the case may be. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm using my tablet here, and I'm just going to, so what we'll do is I'll start off by giving you a little walk around of our studio, and then I'll dive into it. So I'm not going to go outside. I don't know if you guys can see if it's a little bit too bright there, but it is winter here and there's 3 feet of snow out there, and I'm not going out there.
I'm online.
But so when you walk into the studio, the first thing I talked about is interrupting the pattern. Remember I mentioned that yesterday? Well, we made our studio very bright, very clean, very open. I don't know if you can kind of see the lobby here when you walk in, okay? So what was the first thing I said yesterday? Well, we got to talk about the problem. When you're dealing with the client, you got to face the problem. So when clients walk into our studio, and this, remember, we focused on weight loss, guess what's the first thing you see on the counter? Can anybody guess what this is?
Fat.
This is a chunk of fat. This is 5 pounds, and this is 1 pound, right? And it's on the counter. They can touch it. They can poke it. They can see how gross it is. And that's to remind them of why they are here. That's the problem we're tackling, right? The second thing, when they walk in, if you turn around this way, you see all these plaques. Let me see if I can zoom up. These are the before and after pictures all over the wall. Oh, I'm knocking stuff down all over the wall, all the way down. they're all before and after pictures showing that first they came in and they had this problem here. And now we're going to show them that we offer the solution. Okay. So they get that within moments of coming in. It's bright, it's clean, it's energetic.
Wow.
They see the problem, they see the solution, and they start associating, this is a good place. This is where I want to be, right? It's not on right now, but you see that television right there in the back. Even before I worked with Les Brown, that used to have motivational tapes playing all the time, and Les was one of them, those remixes on YouTube. We had stuff in there. So when you come in, again, every time your client engages with your business, it should be an experience. And just coming into my lobby was an experience. They saw the problem, they saw the solution, they were stimulated, they were motivated, everything looked good, it was bright, staff is friendly. That's all intentional. You want to make sure when the client comes into your studio or your business or whatever it is, they don't look around and they hear crickets and they're like, oh, you ever walk into a dead restaurant at lunchtime and you're like, uh-oh, maybe we should go elsewhere, right? But you want to get that energy going. So again, of course, you saw all the inventory on the wall, all the gloves behind the counter. And again, I haven't been here in years, so some of the stuff might have changed since I was here, but you see all the inventory on the walls, right? Some studios like to put their inventory in boxes behind the counter. That's not how we do it. We want everybody to see the inventory because it makes it look like you're doing business. You're doing big numbers. You're pushing content out. You're pushing product out, right? When you look on the shelf at a store and 3/4 of the shelves are empty, it makes you think this place is going out of business, right? I know you guys are lucky in the States. For those that are in the States, you still have Target. But Target a couple of years ago bailed out of Canada. There's no Targets in Canada. And I had told my wife months before they left Canada that they were going under. Because I'd walk into a Target here and half the shelves were empty. And if they're not restocking the shelves, it means they know something's coming, right? Same thing with your business. You got to be restocking those shelves. You got to keep things looking fresh. Sometimes I come in and I just change what color of shirt is on the front. Mix things up, keep it fresh, keep things looking exciting and purposeful, okay? So then you walk into the lobby here and we've got my office. So let's talk, well, not my office anymore, but it used to be my office. So clients would come in here, they sit down for one-on-one meetings and so on. Same thing as before. You want to show them the problem, the solution, right? So in the back of the wall, there are pictures of big classes showing them that people are coming here, we're doing numbers. On the side of the wall, so they would sit, I don't know if you can see the chairs, they'd sit there. Right beside them here, these are before and after pictures. These are pictures of people getting checks. Remember I talked about how when they reach their weight loss goal, they get their money back. Well, these are check photos. Another big part of selling is building rapport. Remember we talked about that? Well, one of the ways I build rapport with my clients is through my family, which they're actually on the other side right now, so you might get to see them. So this is actually my mom's office now, but she still has the pictures of, I don't know if you can see my kids. So there's my parents, my kids, right? So when they come in here, it's a family atmosphere. They feel good. They're bonding. This all goes back to the very first thing we talked about, the lesson 1, which was knowing your audience. If your audience is not, like remember I was going after 40-year-old moms who are married with 2 daughters. Well, all of the family stuff builds rapport with that audience. If my target market was teenagers, for example, who are troubled teenagers, and maybe we're trying to get them to, enhance their discipline and find a path in life. Well, maybe family pictures doesn't connect with a teenager who's struggling, right? Maybe you need a different type of message that connects with that. So you got to be able to build rapport with your audience. And of course, there's different races, right? You have to be able to talk to the language and the message and whatever to your target audience. Very, very important. One thing we always try to convey at the studio here, again, the name was Family Kickboxing, was family fun, right? Nothing says fun like gigantic, oversized boxing gloves, right? Again, they're completely useless, but they make people smile, just like you guys all did. And I got another pair right here. Why do you think I bought 2 pairs? Because we put them on and we box on the side of the road, and it's really funny. All brings fun, cheer, and entertainment. You come to the back of the room here, right before you go into the studio. Yeah, I remember yesterday I talked about those billboard signs that we would change every month. Well, they've actually got a whole bunch all over the place. I don't know if you can see those billboards. These are 4x6 billboards. There's 2 of them here, and 1 over there. We had these flags that we'd bring to events and so on. It's all a matter of looking like you're doing a lot of stuff, okay? So let's take a quick walk into the studio, and then we'll go back to the lobby and we'll talk about business. Okay, so let's walk in here. So I'll give you guys a grand view of the studio right here. I don't know if you guys can see all that.
Yeah.
So typically when you walk in, there'd be a whole bunch of heavy bags, punching bags out. It just happens that this week they're doing double end balls, which are these balls attached to a string. So that's what's out right now. But when you walk through the venue, you're going to notice the same thing. It feels like there's stuff going on. If you look up, there's some of those, you know, there's True Family Time, a picture of a father and son. Yeah, up on the wall over here, we've got all the trophies, you know, the banners, and everything is designed to show that we are doing things. Things are happening, things are moving. A staple, we've got several of these signs. This one's kind of tucked in right there, but we got no whining signs set up everywhere because they make people smile, they make them laugh. And again, it goes back to the theme. You know, you don't want to take life too seriously. Well, we've got, I don't know if you can see it right here. We got Yoda sitting there hanging out. So let's keep walking around. You guys want to see my kids? They're hiding here. Everybody say hi. Hi. I don't know if you guys can see them there. So we've got everybody, they're just hanging out. So these are all the heavy bags. I don't know if you can see, they're all piled up here. And yeah, okay, so let's move on. Babe, do you want to come to the front with me? I'll get my wife to hold this while I'm doing the other stuff. Okay, so one last time in the studio over here. If you look above the mirrors, you see all these plaques. These are all students, you know, happy moments, before and after pictures. Again, it's all about the experience. So even when the students are standing in this studio waiting for their class to begin, they're getting that feedback loop where this is where I want to be. I didn't show you guys, but upstairs are the change rooms. In the change rooms, guess what's on all the walls? There are letters, testimonials that we've received. There's pictures of before and after. There's all kinds of cute little stuff that kids have written for us. It's all over the change room, so that even while they're getting ready for their very first class, they're constantly being reinforced that this is a place they want to be a part of. Okay, does that all make sense so far?
Yeah.
Am I going too fast or we're doing good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to start all I did is I went through some old boxes upstairs in storage and I pulled out a whole bunch of random stuff. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of go through the pile and talk a little bit about it and what we did and why we did it, and hopefully you guys can get some value out of that. Would that sound good?
Good.
Excellent. Let me just pass this over to my wife. She wants to be on the back of the camera, not the front. Okay, we'll go. There we go. Good enough. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff you can do. And if you really just open your mind and you get resourceful, the sky is the limit. So for example, notepads with our logos on them, we got boxes of these done for free. How did we do that? Somebody came in, they owned a print shop, they wanted a membership, we exchanged. I got a box of these for a 6-month membership, right? You have to be open to doing these barter deals, otherwise it would never have come up, right? Because I'm willing to just do whatever, negotiate. So I still, these are old. This actually has the old address from next door, because that's how many we got that we just have still hanging around. We had bumper stickers, right? It says "Got Kickboxing" instead of saying "Got Milk." We got Kickboxing. We put these on their bumpers. License plate trims, right here. Now these were pricey. These go around your license plate. If you ask just about everybody, they have one that comes from the dealership. And every single one of them doesn't like it, but they're too lazy to go out there and change it, right? Now, these were expensive. I think these were maybe $8 each. They were pretty pricey. And I didn't want to just give them away and risk people throwing them in the garbage. So what we would do is I'd keep a couple tools here. And when class was done, if they got their first belt, they'd get one of these. And the stipulation was I had to go put it on for them. So I would just give it to a staff and say, go put this on for them right away. And they were beyond happy. And it made sure that this didn't just land in their trunk or in the back seat throwing $8 away, right? Now, again, notice I said once they got their first belt. So you might make it maybe in your business once they pass the first level of your business. Maybe it's a course, maybe it's a guide, maybe it's a workbook, maybe, right? Find a way to make this a little bit more valuable than just free. And then to them, perceived value goes way, way up. And of course, this is all advertising. This is all marketing. When they're driving around, it's got my logo on it. They're growing their business. They're growing your business, sorry. Later on, we ended up getting these big bumper stickers, or I guess just decals. You can put them wherever you want on the cars. This little gadget is a toolkit. It has the logo on it. It has the address. Let me tell you how to get these for free. Okay, so if you open it up, there's little trinkets, swag, full of tools. All you have to do is go to one of these companies that sell this swag, order one thing, maybe pens with your logo on it, and they'll continually every month send you samples with your logo on it for the rest of your life. All you gotta do is place one order, and it works because I get something in the mail. Let's just say calendars. They've sent me a calendar now with my logo on it, and it's like, I guess I'll order some, right? Because now it looks so good. So if you want to get a whole bunch of stuff like this for free, just place one little order, and then they'll send you samples continuously. So stuff like that. Magnets, right? Everybody's got these magnets. They're business card size. Throw them on the fridge. Pretty common. Remember I talked about the postcards that had the "We miss you" on it? We had this one. It said "No whining." That's in the mail. And then, on the back, it basically said, like, you may have seen this sign at the studio. We thought you might like one for the fridge, right? So people put this up in the fridge, and when they're feeling like, oh, I'm going to go binge, I had a long day, I'm going to have some cake, and they get to the fridge and it says "No whining," it helps, reframe their mind.
Right.
Whenever we do festivals, we did a lot of festivals. We had all these before and after pictures. They're all laminated so that they preserve well, and we bring them to the event. Notice they're not little tiny 4x6 pictures. They're big ones, right? That way there, it draws attention. If you're selling something that's very visual and you can show the results visually, you should take advantage of it, okay? Nothing says we do weight loss well like a whole bunch of before and after pictures. I'm going to rub up this one here. This is my dad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got this one here, John. He lost 110 pounds. We got Chantal, lost 40 pounds. Joel, 30 pounds. 80 pounds. Mike, 100 pounds. And we've got endless pile of these. Now, yeah, when you open your business, you might only have one. You might only have 5. You might only have 10. But you build over time. This one here, Mike, 100 pounds. This is one of our first students to lose weight. This is 15 years old, this picture, and we still use it to this day because it doesn't matter how old it is, it just adds to how many success stories you have. I talked about, in one of the calls, I talked about Valentine's Day cards. So these say, I would love for you to kick with me. I don't know if you can see that little card, right? And on the back, it was a 2 free week, and it said to and from. And we would give these out to students, and they would give them, and we give them for free. It costs us money, but we knew we were willing to bite that initial cost because if some come back in, it's profit, right? So we would wrap them with an elastic, packs of 30, give them to all the kids. Even if they were just adults, give them to the adults, tell them to give them to their kids. And they bring them to school and give them out, okay? So this is easy, this is free, other than hard costs, free marketing. When you're growing your business, you have to be willing to do what many are not willing to do. Okay? And one of those things is maybe bending the law a little bit, and that's putting up posters around town. Okay, so I don't know how your city is. Certain cities don't have bylaws. We have bylaws here where you can't just go and put posters around town. But I was willing to do it anyway to promote my business when you're a struggling business, right? So if you're going to put a poster out on a light pole in the town where cars are driving by, don't make the mistake that everybody else makes of filling the poster with information. If someone drives by, they have about 3 to 5 seconds, that's it. This is how we did our posters. Free Beachbody. Can't get much simpler than that. And then the website. Or, lose weight, bikini ready, I don't know what else is. Lose stress, Beachbody. Nice and simple. Same thing. Lose weight, tone up, relieve stress, 2 free weeks. Very easy to read. Remember yesterday I said you have to be focused on effective rather than aesthetically pleasing? These are ugly. They are not pretty posters. Ask any graphic designer and they're going to say, oh, the colors clash, they're not nice, they're not pretty. And they'd be right. But when you drive by, you see what this says. Yeah. That's the only thing that matters. You need to be, I guess humble is the right word, and you need to be willing to look a little silly and let the results do the talking. Remember I said yesterday, opinions don't matter, only results. Doesn't matter how ugly they are, it pulls, right? Doesn't matter how, let me take this one here, 3 big words. Doesn't matter how ugly it is, it pulls. Oh, and remember yesterday I mentioned that you never want to do paid branding. You want to do branding while getting paid, right? So take this poster, for example. A lot of people might just want to put their logo around town and call it branding, like Coca-Cola might do. That's not how I do it. I have a call to action. I have benefits. I have the real marketing side of it, and I'm building the branding at the same time, right? Coca-Cola can get away with just putting a billboard of just their logo, and everybody knows what it is, and they call it branding, and that's great. Us, as small business, we can't do that. We have to actually generate income while building our brands.
Mm-hmm.
Let me talk about a couple of random things here. So we have all kinds of letters from high schools. These are cards they've sent us. And what I do in your business, you should do as well, laminate everything. These are cards, like, fold up cards that they were sent to us, and I laminate them. Because if you don't laminate them, in 10 years from now, they're going to look like crap, right? Mm-hmm. Especially newspaper articles. If you have a newspaper, what happens to newspaper after a couple of years? It loses all its color, it gets brittle, and it ends up being garbage. You need to laminate everything, okay? So these are cards. This is a card from the Canadian Cancer Society, same as the, I guess, the American Cancer Society, I'm assuming. Same thing. These are big not-for-profits that are sending us letters of thanks because of work we've done with them. You need to be willing to get creative. This is for a kids class called Kickboxing Olympics. We put together this little weekend gig where they came in, competed, we gave them cheesy little prizes at the end. Who cares if it didn't make money? It generated interest, got the kids happy, a lot of fun. Again, letters of appreciation from not-for-profits. Remember yesterday I talked about our event with the heart and stroke. This is a certificate saying that we kicked some serious butt. In a later lesson, we're going to be talking about content marketing. Okay, and that is when you generate buzz, generate interest, generate readership, engagement without actually selling anything. This is an example of content marketing. Now, this is old, and I would probably make it a little prettier nowadays. But I had put together this little catalog. It's maybe 8 pages, and it's called Body Parts Catalog. And it was all just a big joke. And if you went in it, you said, basically it gave you a pitch saying, hey, if you're not happy with your body, good news, I've got a body part catalog. And you could pick which one you'd like to purchase. Nice arms, nice abs, nice butt, nice legs. And it had the price. If you want to buy a smooth belly, well, it's $12,000. In fact, it basically said, get real. That's not how it works. Get your butt in the gym and work out, right? And this was just a fun thing that got a lot of smiles, got a lot of laughter. And, it was written very lightly. It wasn't too serious, and it was a great way. It got a lot of buzz. And it cost nothing. A little bit of creativity, a little bit of paper folded, stapled in the middle, and we're good to go, right? Coupons. A lot of people like to spend a fortune on coupons, but the way to do coupons, the way I like to do it is, I don't know if I can get one of these guys out. Business card size, because cheap, this is really thin. Cheap business cards are incredibly affordable. You can order hundreds for pennies on the dollar. You don't need to do thick cardstock. And what you do is, the cheaper you can get this, the more willing you are to just pass them out everywhere, right? When you paid, let's say $1.50 per coupon, you're very hesitant to give that coupon out. When you paid a penny per coupon, you could just throw them out there and pass them to everybody. When I was growing my business, again, this is a little bit maybe a borderline of legal, but I would go to the bookstores around town and I would put these in books, right? Oh. I know my clients are looking at weight loss. I'd go to, Chapters, which is like Barnes and Nobles, and I'd put these in the weight loss books. Wow. Now, do you think they called me and complained? Absolutely. Not customers, the store would call me. And I'd say, oh, I'm really sore. It must have been one of my staff. I'll go take care of it, right? And I never did. But I put these on cars. I put them in books. I put them in magazines. When you're building your business, you need to be willing to hustle and do the work, right? One thing I can encourage everybody who has a brick and mortar business is to get out of your office. It's really easy for me to come in here and sit in my office and work on Facebook and say, I got to do more social media and never leave the office. But that's not where my clients are. My clients are not in the office. They're out there. So you got to be willing to leave your desk, go out there, hit the pavement, and work. Here's some newspaper cutouts. There's a picture of my wife. This was, 10 years ago. Yeah, it's an old one. So this is when we had our first son, and we created a Mommy and Me fitness program because she was on mat leave anyways. So she was at the gym working with me, working out. So we said, hey, we might as well make money while you're here. This is another write-up we did. Yeah, again, they're laminated. They last. Same color, same vibrancy, last for a long time. These are all pictures that kids have drawn me. right? Again, notice they're all laminated because this was drawn maybe, I don't know, 12 years ago. Had I not laminated this, it would have been gone. But I laminated it. Now, you might think this is silly and meaningless, but when a mom goes into a change room or a billboard upstairs in the hallway and sees all these goofy things kids have drawn me, even though this looks like it was from yesterday, point, it's from 10 years ago, they think, wow, a lot of people have been here and they obviously love it, right? So what can you do to keep that excitement going? I'll skip all the fun. Somebody drew me this. I don't know if that's supposed to be me. I'm not too sure. But either way, I hope this one's not me. This is a little rougher. So we've done, so this one here is one I did not laminate and it's losing its color. We know we did a community car wash right out front. And, you know, we had maybe like 5 cars because nobody wants to let children wash their cars. But that's okay because we got to be on the side of the road on a busy highway, waving our logos around, generating buzz, generating traffic, right? And we did it for a daycare, so they got some good media out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, doing stuff for your community. This is a poster from the city, or sorry, this is the chief police, the police associations, different schools, and so on. Okay, so let's get down to some marketing stuff. It's important for all your staff, this is not really marketing per se, to understand what the core values of your business are. This is a laminated sheet that my staff all had, and there was 3 cores that I ran my business from. It was friendship, honesty, and quality. Okay. Now I know that's something that everybody says, right? Everybody says, oh yeah, we're the nicest, we're the friendliest, we, you know, good quality. But I went on and explained that it needs to be manifested in every interaction. If somebody calls and you're grumpy on the phone, that's not living up to this. If somebody comes at the door and, you know, maybe we did something wrong and they're upset and you kind of meet anger with anger, that's not friendship. That's not, you know, the quality we're trying to live. So you need to know and make sure that across every one of your contact points with your clients or your prospects, you're living your values, your standards, your beliefs. Okay, you can't say we are the friendliest place to be around, and as soon as something goes wrong or you get that jerk client that comes in, you turn into a jerk yourself, right? That's not living your quality. Living, if you want to be the friendliest business out there, then it doesn't matter how annoying that prospect might be in your face, you have to be the friendliest business out there. Otherwise, you're not living your value, right? Anybody know what these are? You've seen these before in town and in stores.
Yeah.
We got these made, and you know, it took me maybe a month, and I got 15 businesses in town to put these out. And I'd go in every week, and I'd service them, little notepad, and it was for a 2 3 week class, and there was a trial for a 1-year membership, I believe. But again, notice it's very visual, lots of images, right? Everything except for the back has confidence and whatnot. Now, I'll give you the trick to putting these out because a lot of businesses do try and do, I forget what these are called. I think they're called lead boxes. I think that's what it's called. Now, the way I would do it is I wouldn't just go to a business. My wife's arms are getting sore, so the camera's going lower and lower. I wouldn't just go to a business and say, hey, can I put this on your counter? Because they're hesitant. Counter space is valuable. They don't want more garbage on the counter. So what I would do is I'd come in and I'd offer to pay them a commission on every lead that purchased from this box. 99% of the business say, no, you don't have to do that. But by offering it first, it shows them you're serious, right? And what difference does it make if they buy a $100 membership and you give them 10 bucks, right? Like it's $100 they didn't have before. So you got to be willing to do that. That was number 1. Number 2, after everybody said, no, that's okay, you don't have to pay me, I would always bring them a coffee when I serviced the box. Every single time. I would just swing by Starbucks, or not Starbucks, I'd swing by Tim Hortons where the coffee's like $1. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and come in and I bring them a coffee every single time. I go in once a week, service the box, bring them a coffee. Even if the manager's not there, whoever you interact with, even if they say, no, it's okay, you don't have to, you do it anyways. Because that's the right thing to do. You know, when somebody says, oh, you don't have to buy anything for my birthday, you should probably still buy them something for their birthday if it's somebody you care about. Because that's just what you do, okay? Again, these are little pamphlets that we had. If you notice the pamphlets, it's all focused on why they're here. It says we're here ready for results, and it talks about weight loss, it talks about the benefits, it shows pictures of people having fun, and on the very back it has the address. A lot of people, their brochure, as soon as you open it, oh, I just ripped it. As soon as you open it, it's okay. As soon as you open it on the inside, all it does is talk about their history, the company, what they offer. That's not what you want to do. The brochure should be all benefits, right? They're reading this because they're thinking to themselves, what's in it for me? If they have to go to the last page to find out what's in it for them, you've lost them. Same with your website. As soon as I go to a website, I want to know, why am I going to benefit here? You got to tell me right off the bat. If I got to dig through 12 clicks to find out why I should be dealing with you, you're losing your clients, right? They're leaving. How many of us have landed on a website and didn't even load in time and we're like, forget it, and we left, right? You need to tell your client right out of the gate what's in it for them. Remember I talked about doing not-for-profit work, charity stuff? These are little mini boxing gloves. Pretty cute, little keychain with our logo on them. We had a box of 5,000. Guess how much we paid for them? 0. Wow. Because we teamed up with the Canadian Cancer Society for 1 year. They have an event called Relay for Life. I don't know if they have something like that similar in other countries. And the theme of the year was Fight Back Cancer. And we called them right away and they said, hey, we want to team up with you to fight back cancer. And I said, you guys should get these little gloves. They'll be amazing. So they ordered them, and I'm the one who set it all up. I set the logo. It does have their logo on it. And we set everything up. And I want to actually show you something. If you come over here. This is a really old banner, so sorry about the quality. But we had this at the Scotia Bank, which is a bank here, a very big bank in Sudbury. We had our banner with our logo, the Scotia Bank and the Cancer Society. We had that banner set up at the bank for a month, in the month, I believe it was August or June, and we paid nothing for that, just because we were the official partner with that not-for-profit for that event for that year, right? So that, other than the hard cost of the banner, it cost me nothing. But you know what it did cost me? Was years of being willing to just do whatever I got to do in my business. You got to be willing to, you know, when somebody say, can you do this? I'd say yes, and then I'd figure out how after, right? When this came up, I didn't know how I was going to make that deal, that partnership work, but I was willing to pick up the phone, show up, make it work, and figure the details out later. I don't have a picture here, but not only did I have this banner at the bank, you're going to laugh at this. I brought a portable boxing ring that was 10 feet by 10 feet. And we had it set up in the bank lobby for an entire month. And we had pictures of the bank managers in there with those big goofy boxing gloves. And all of that had my logo. That was in I don't know if it's in the States. I don't know if Scotia Bank is in the States, but this is a big bank in Canada. And they let us be in there for free. You couldn't purchase the ability to set up in a bank for a month. And we did it for free, just by being willing to team up with others and do these partnerships and do these joint ventures and be a little bit unorthodox and be a little bit goofy. And this specific organization, they invited us to all their kickoff events because it matched really good with the kickboxing. And we were always willing to be complete goofballs. Okay. One event we showed up in, you know, those horse outfits with a big horse head you put on your head. Well, picture a horse with the giant boxing gloves. It's the stupidest thing you'll ever see. But we made it in the newspaper because we showed up looking like that. Right? You've got to be willing to be silly. I'll show you something else I found. I dug this up when I was going through the storage. Can anybody guess what this is?
Ooh,
sumo. This is an inflatable sumo suit.
Sumo wrestling.
Right. And on the back, I don't know if you can see, it says, tired of feeling like a sumo, with my logo. So this cost me all of about $12 on eBay. And it blows up with this little fan, and I would get one of my poor friends to put it on and go walk around festivals wearing this sumo suit. And, you know, that costs nothing but creativity. And you know, when you're walking at a music festival and you see a guy wearing a sumo suit, you're gonna read what it says on the back. And every single person read that. And you know what's funny is, it ended up all over Facebook. You know, people taking pictures with this giant sumo. And we went on to do other things with the costume. And it was all because we're willing to look silly. We're willing to be out or unorthodox. We're willing to kind of go out of the box and really hustle for the business, right? I want to talk about T-shirts for a minute. This is, found this, Mommy and Me Fitness. I don't know if you can see there, well, my wife's old business here. A lot of studios and businesses, like we do at Les Brown Global and like we did here, sell T-shirts. A lot of studios, it's a mandatory uniform for working out. Here's how you sell a lot more T-shirts. Most studios have one or two club t-shirts, their logo and whatnot, and that's it. That's not how we would do it. We would do limited runs and never again, right? Or you might rotate them once a year or something. So we might order 500 of a certain shirt, sell them out, and then change the shirt. And the reason we do that is somebody who comes into the studio and buys one of your t-shirts, or comes into your business and buys one of your t-shirts, if they come back 3 months later, they're not going to buy the same t-shirt. They already have that t-shirt. The only way you can generate another sale in terms of t-shirts is to change the shirt, right? So why is your client there? Well, my clients are here for motivation, inspiration, weight loss, and whatnot. So I had these shirts made up. I don't know if you can see. This one says, if you aren't improving, you're falling behind, right? So that would be a limited run. And then I have, you weren't born to be good, you were here to be great, right? And then I had straight out of family kickboxing when that was popular. And then I guess that's the only ones I have up here right now. But either way, by always changing what's on the shirts, I was able to sell more shirts, sell more shirts, sell more shirts, okay? Let me give you a few more marketing ideas. So earlier I mentioned sorry, I'm going fast because they've got a class at 11:30, they're gonna start coming in, so I wanna make sure that I'm out of their hair before we go. I mentioned putting posters on the street, light poles, right? The ones I showed you were just paper. They were just legal form papers, and I would just staple them. There is a legal way to do it, and you have to go to the city, you apply for a permit, you have to actually pick exactly what post you're gonna put the sign on. They give you exact sizes. It has to be a coroplast sign, which is that like plastic cardboard stuff. You have to fix it with a rope, and you gotta follow the rules. So with these, I did that. Twice a year, I'd follow the rules, and I'd get these signs done, right? So this is John, 110 pounds, and I would do it the right way. I'd pick the prime poles, I'd go put them out. It's a bit more work because after 2 weeks, you have to go back and take all the signs down. These were pricey. These cost, I believe, $18 a sign, right? And I think we have 20 of them, of each design. So twice a year, we go out, put these out, take them down. A little bit more work, a little bit more expensive, but as you can see, they're very visual, very attractive, and they work really, really well. A couple other examples. This is when we did our 6-week, 20-pound challenge, right? Same thing. We'll put those out. This is when we did our little black dress program. Okay, so let me talk about that for a minute, especially since you're in the karate world. We found in our business that if well, it's not my business anymore, but in this business, if all we ever did was the same program over and over and over again all the time, we would really be minimizing our ability to grow. So what we had is we had our core. We had our kickboxing classes that were always there. That was our core business. But then we would have specialty programs that we would run every 8 weeks, and we never ran the same program twice back to back. So for example, one of them was called Dream Body. So we did an 8-week Dream Body program, which was a premium program. Let's just say they pay $100 a month to come here. This premium program for 8 weeks might run at $200 or $300, right? Or even we ran some for $400 because they're premium start and end programs. Now, after that run, let's say 20 people sign up for that program. When that program ended, if you started another Dream Body program right after, what would happen? You'd have a serious drop off, right? You'd have less and less and less because only a certain percentage of your clients are going to buy that additional specialty program. So what we started doing is we would run the Dream Body program. When it ended, we would do another program. We had one called Little Black Dress, right? Which was to help women get into their little black dress. And at the end of that event, we'd take them all out for dinner the lady coach would take them out for dinner in their black dresses, and it was a lot of fun. Again, we wouldn't run it back to back. When that one ended, we would do a different program. Maybe it would be the Mission Slim Possible program or whatever, right? We'd have these different programs. And the program content doesn't change that much. You know, push-ups, push-ups, squats, squat, sit-ups, a sit-up. But the way you market it and the way you package the whole thing changes, right? So then what happens is somebody who bought the Dream Body might actually want to do the Little Black Dress after, and they might want to do the next one after because they're packaged a little bit differently, right? Yeah. Same thing happens with books and mentoring programs and digital courses. A lot of the courses online, they're only 20% different than the other course they just ran, but it's got a new name, new program, new pitch, right? And it just keeps bringing more and more clients in that way there. Yeah, what time are we here? 11:10. I'm almost done. How are we doing? We're okay? We're following?
Yeah.
Excellent. So these are just just a pile of stuff that I would bring to special events. Whenever I did an event somewhere, this is a banner I got done with just a whole bunch of pictures. Okay, when you have, if you go to a booth at a festival and they don't have a single picture out there, it's all just written literature. What ends up happening? They walk in, they take the literature, they walk out. They don't end up talking to you. They don't engage with you because their mindset is, I'm not reading this now. I'll read it later, right? When they see a banner full of pictures, their mindset is, oh, I'm going to look at these pictures and see if I recognize any of my friends, right? And then you might actually preempt that. You might say, oh, do you recognize somebody in there? And they're going to look even harder, right? And now you can have a conversation going without them thinking, okay, I got to read this. It's a sales pitch, right? Now they're having fun. So you got to really go with the pictures. I'm going to do a little brag. There's my wife in her wedding dress. Can you see that one right there in the middle? Okay, let's move on here. Talked about headlines, right? The headline for this poster was, which one are you? And then there was a list that said, boy, I'm out of shape. I've tried the gym but got bored. I have no energy. I have no time. As soon as you write, which one are you? People say, huh, which one? And they start reading the options, right? And it just happens that all the options are problems that they all probably have. And then they're going to start to think, which one do I identify with most? And once they tell you, well, I never have time, now you can tackle that problem and deliver your solution, right? This is a sneaky way of getting them to tell you exactly what you want them to pitch you on, right? It's kind of like when they say, when you walk into a store and they say, what ad brought you in, or what are you here for, or what can I help you find? They want to know what they can talk to you about. If you came in for sweatpants and you walk in and say, yeah, I'm looking for sweatpants, great. Now they know I can pitch you on sweatpants. If they didn't ask you that and they start pitching you on socks and you didn't come in for socks, you're going to lose interest, you're going to be irritated, you're going to walk out, okay? Let's see what else I got in this pile of random junk. This is when we were promoting our kids program. This is an old one. But it said, watching TV is not family time, right? And a lot of people say, oh, we got a family time, Friday night family movie and whatnot, and that's great. But this is a headline that a lot of parents kind of go, oh, I feel guilty, I've done that, right? And then they read more, they want to inquire more. What else do I got here? So talking about doing specialty events. This is called Fitness After Dark. This is an event we did, right, where it was basically a dry, alcohol-free party that we did, where we had people come in, we had a DJ, we had disco lights, and it was a workout. It was a free-for-all kind of workout. We had all the gear out, and you didn't need a membership. You didn't need to be a client. It was open to the public. Of course, again, it's a fitness studio, so it was dry, no alcohol. But it was a fun twist on a standard workout routine, right? So what kind of special events can you do in your business that drive people in? Maybe you can.
I call that one.
To the front. What's that?
I was just saying, I called that one Parents Night In.
Parents Night In. I like that.
Yeah, they have a Parents Night Out where the parents drop the kids off, and you're familiar with that. But this time, the parents come in, have an hour of fun, exercise, and all of that, and get some stress off. And I call that a Parents Night In.
Yeah, and I like that. The biggest thing here is not, it's not that I want you guys to do a Fitness After Dark, or I want you to do a little black dress, or I want you to, put posters out or put coupons in books or whatnot. All I'm trying to show you is that with this small gym in a small town, we did everything you could think of to try and generate traffic, and it worked flawlessly, right? One poster on a pole is not going to change your business. But if once a month I make it a priority to go out, if maybe, I go to a festival here, I go to another event there, and the community is always seeing me, now you're going to start to have that compounding growth. I think it's the first lesson I talked about strategy, right? Putting a poster up on a pole is a tactic. It's one single tactical activity. So how can you add strategy into that one tactic? Well, here's how we did it. Let's just say it's back to school time, right? School's about to get going. Then we would tailor our child-focused posters around that time of year, right? So now we're taking that one tactic and we're making it a little bit more strategic. We would only put those posters up where schools might be, right? Where there's elementary schools in the area or where parents are going to be driving. So that's focusing more strategically on that individual tactic. one more thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to maybe wrap things up. It's 11:15, but is events. Okay, whether you have whether you're a speaker and you're going to another promoter's event, or you're a brick and mortar and you're going to a festival in town, I want to talk about that just real quick. So when I was starting off in business, I couldn't. Some of the festivals, they might have $500 for a table, and I couldn't quite afford that $500. But most festivals are open to the public. You can just go in without, free of charge. So what we would do is we had a bunch of balloons with our logo on them. You go to the store, you get them filled up with helium. You get 10 friends. You put your club swag on, and you walk around with these balloons, right? Yeah, you don't have an actual booth there, but you have people looking at you. Let's just say, for example, that there's a big event in your neighborhood, and I don't know, let's just say whatever, some hotshot celebrity is going to be there, and you can't actually buy a vendor's table there. Well, nothing's preventing you from showing up with a group of friends all wearing the same, logoed uniform, and giving the appearance that you're part of the event, right? So there's a lot of other ways you can be parts of those events. For example, you can put a sumo suit and walk around the crowd. And even if you didn't pay a dime to be there, I guarantee you're going to get, eyes, and make sure you got your cards ready. In festivals, if you are going to be part of the festival, try and bring as much of the benefit of what you're promoting to the festival. So at the studio here, we understood that what people love the most is beating the crap out of the heavy bag. After a long day at work, they put some gloves on and they beat the crap out of that punching bag. Everybody loves that. So how can I bring that to a booth? First couple of years, I did it through pictures and just the big gloves and just promoting it. The last couple of years I was doing them, this looked really rough, but I built, using 4x4 posts, a frame that fit inside my 10x10 tent, and I actually hung a heavy bag right in the middle of the booth. And I would let kids come in, I'd throw gloves on them, and they'd be able to punch the bag. And every single parent who had a child there punching the bag pulled out their phone and took pictures of that kid hitting the bag. Guess what was all behind them? All my logos, all my material, all my taglines, all my come lose weight, all of my marketing stuff was behind them. All I did was generate that activity for them to want to share it in a kind of a viral sense. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Do you guys have any questions before I kind of close